Good afternoon. Many thanks for joining ASO Television News. I am Richard Alechinwanyebe. The headlines. President Tinubu backs NOA's 2026 Value Reorientation Drive, gets briefing on agency's gains. FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike appoints Musa Idris as SSA on procurement. IGP Olatunji Disu calls for stronger collaboration in tackling cybercrime. The news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitments to national unity and value reorientation after receiving a progress briefing on the 2026 operational blueprint from the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Malam Lare Isa Onilu, on Friday at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The meeting, according to a press release signed by NOA's Director of Communication and Media, Bala Musa, is focused on the agency's performance since October 2023 and its proposed programs for 2026, which aims to deepen citizen engagement, strengthen the national values charter, and expand nationwide sensitization campaigns. Isa Onilu told the president that the modest but impactful achievements recorded by the NOA over the past 18 months were a direct result of Tinubu's policy direction and sustained support for the agency's mandate. The DG presented NOA's 2026 work plan and sought presidential approval and guidance to ensure the initiatives align with national priorities and receive the backing needed for implementation. The presidency described the engagement as part of President Tinubu's hands-on approach to governance, positioning national orientation as a key lever for development outcomes under the Renewed Hope agenda. Since his appointment in October 2023, Isa Onilu has led efforts to reposition the agency with a focus on value-based messaging and grassroots mobilization. The 2026 agenda is expected to consolidate those gains and scale up outreach nationwide. Now, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has appointed Alhaji Onsachi Musa Idris as Senior Special Assistant on Procurement with immediate effect. Idris, who served as Director of Procurement at the Federal Capital Territory Administration, formerly retired from the civil service on April 24, 2026, after over 3 decades of public service. In a statement issued on Friday, the Minister's Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and Social Media, Lere Olayinka, described Idris as a seasoned administrator with extensive experience in finance and public sector procurement management. The statement noted that Idris rose to the position of Director of Common Services Procurement in August 2019 before his redeployment to the Department of Procurement in July 2021, where he played a key role in overseeing procurement processes and ensuring compliance with regulatory standards. Throughout his career, Idris contributed significantly to administrative efficiency and service delivery within the FCTA, bringing a wealth of experience to his new role. Now, the chairman of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, in Gwagwalada Area Council, Alhaji Abdallah Yunusa Umar Abuja, has played host to phase 2 youth stakeholders who paid him a solidarity visit at his residence. The visit was characterized by a strong display of unity, mutual respect, and a shared determination to strengthen the party's grassroots structure ahead of future political engagements in the Federal Capital Territory. Speaking during the visit, the youth stakeholders declared their unwavering support for Honorable Danladi Chia, Chairman of Kwali Area Council and FCT Chairman of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, in his aspiration to represent Abuja South Federal Constituency in 2027. They expressed confidence in his leadership capacity, track record, and vision for inclusive development, describing him as the right candidate to provide effective and people-oriented representation. As a symbol of loyalty and commitment, the group presented Honorable Abdallah Yunusa Umar with a customized cap and a banner representing the DC27 movement, pledging to mobilize support across communities to ensure the success of Honorable Chia's ambition. Responding, the Gwagwalada PDP chairman, Honorable Abdallah Yunusa, commended the youth for their unity, political awareness, and commitment to the growth of the party, noting that young people remain critical stakeholders in shaping the future of the PDP and the nation at large. Honorable Umar assured them of his continued support for initiatives that promote party cohesion and grassroots mobilization, while urging them to remain peaceful, focused, and committed to democratic ideals as preparations towards the 2027 general elections gather momentum. The Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees (FCT) chapter has raised alarm over the lingering backlog of staff entitlements owed to area council workers across the 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory. In a statement signed by its president, Comrade Ibrahim Abdullah Kabi, the union called on the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the general public to take note of what it described as persistent delays in settling critical benefits due to workers. NOLGA listed the outstanding entitlements to include the 40% peculiar allowance, 25% commerce and commerce adjusted allowances, the 30,000 naira wage award, as well as 25 and 35% salary increases, promotion arrears, hazard allowance, and unremitted pension contributions running into a substantial amount. The union noted that efforts had previously been made to address some of these issues, including securing clarification for the 40% peculiar allowance from the National Wages and Salaries Commission. It also recalled that the 70,000 naira minimum wage arrears covering 25 months were paid to both local education authority teachers and area council staff, demonstrating that inclusive implementation is achievable, while commending the minister for initiating a staff verification exercise through a ministerial committee led by the Office of the Auditor General of the FCT. NOLGA expressed dissatisfaction over the outcome of a meeting held on April 23, 2026. The union said the approval of 5 billion naira from the FCTA internally generated revenue for teachers' entitlements to the inclusion of area council workers raises concerns about fairness and equity. According to the union, although teachers' welfare is important, area council staff have also endured similar financial challenges and deserve equal consideration. It's therefore called on the FCT administration to urgently review the decision and ensure that all affected workers are included in the disbursement plan. Following an emergency state executive council meeting, NOLGA issued a 7-day ultimatum effective April 27, 2026, warning that failure to address the concerns would lead to an indefinite shutdown of area council secretariat, health facilities, and LEA offices across the FCT. The union, however, reaffirmed its commitment to dialogue while urging the minister to act swiftly in the interest of fairness and sustained service delivery. The Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigeria Communications Commission, NCC, Aminu Maida, has announced that the Commission is taking steps to make affordable mobile phones more accessible to Nigerians as part of efforts to deepen digital inclusion and expand connectivity across the country. Dr. Maida, who stated this during a meeting with the journalists in Abuja on Friday, attributed quality of service challenges across telecom networks to rising data consumption, stating that operators are ramping up efforts to sustain investments to improve coverage and capacity. Let's join Elizabeth Kasham for more.
The NCC Executive Vice Chairman, who noted that while service quality is improving, access to mobile phone remains critical to ensuring widespread connectivity.
As a commission, we're working closely with the ecosystem to see how cheaper smartphones can be introduced into the market. But despite this, if you look at the figures, increasingly we are seeing more users moving to 4G, users moving away from 3G, 2G devices. So this on its own is also showing that move towards smartphone usage is happening, because I think now over about 52% of users are 4G users.
Dr. Maida further stated that although recent data shows encouraging signals from independent-based user assessment indicating that network performing is improving rather than deteriorating, it has yet to meet regulatory expectations. He disclosed that data consumption has surged by about 170% over the past 2 years, describing the sharp increase as a major factor contributing to network strain.
And I think, like I reported recently in another forum, since I joined 2 years ago, we've experienced, I think, about close to 170% increase in data consumption. So we're operating in an environment where we have a deficit of infrastructure, and as we are providing, as the operators are upgrading infrastructure, people are consuming more. So you're getting better service, and you want to use more of it. So we just have to be a little bit more patient. But the good news is, because of all the measures we took to address sustainability concerns, is that the investments which we saw last year of just over $1 billion are being sustained.
The EVC added that operators are responding with increased investment, with site upgrades expected to rise significantly this year to expand both coverage and capacity. He also highlighted ongoing regulatory efforts to strengthen industry sustainability, including policy reviews, cybersecurity framework implementation, and collaboration with security agencies to safeguard telecom infrastructure. Elizabeth Kasham, ASO Television News.
Thank you, Elizabeth Kasham, for that report. The National Council of the Nigerian Legion held the passing out parade for 220 commissionaires courses. Course 16 held at the Legion Training Ground in Suleja, Niger State. In her address to the trainees, National Chairman of the Nigerian Legion, Grace Morenike Henry, urged the newly passed out commissionaires to uphold the values instilled during their training and to maintain exemplary conduct as representatives of the council. A statement by Director of Corporate Affairs, Nigerian Legion, Saga Ade Toro, called on the new official to uphold zero tolerance for indiscipline, warning that any behavior bringing disrepute to the council could lead to dismissal. Chairman of the Nigerian Legion also advised the new commissionaires to refrain from criminal activities and cautioned them against equating their paramilitary training to military status. She promised improved welfare and better opportunities for members. The Commandant of the Corps of Commissioners, Federal Capital Territory, Captain H.N.H. Baku, earlier in his remarks, commended the positive reforms introduced by the Legion's first female chairman since her assumption of office. He encouraged the commissioners to apply the lessons from their training diligently, noting that the values learned would guide them in fulfilling their duties effectively. The ceremony marks a significant milestone for the Corps, reinforcing its commitment to discipline, professionalism, and service to humanity. The federal government has approved a major increase in peculiar allowances and welfare benefits for civil servants. This was made known on Friday by the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Walsin Jack, during a press briefing in Abuja, where she outlined key reforms endorsed by the Federal Executive Council. She said the review covers workers under two salary structures, CAS and CONRISE, and revises key allowances like duty toll allowance, stack code, and book allowance. Notably, civil servants now get 100% duty toll allowance for approved training, even with no travel involved. Also, a new exit benefit scheme for retirees under the contributory pension scheme with effect from January 1st, 2026. It provides 100% of a retiree's annual enrollment as an exit package on top of their pension. She added that federal government also activated the employee compensation scheme for workers with job-related injuries or death. You're watching ASO Television News. Don't forget that you can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, StarTimes TV channel 127, and on Free TV, look us up on channel 507. On the UHF band, you can find us on channel 38. This news is also streaming live on our Facebook and YouTube channel. Now, still to come, IGP Olatunji Disu calls for stronger collaboration in tackling cybercrime. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Some things don't arrive. They've always been. Not for a day, for all of time. Until quietly, something shifts. Moving from someday to now. Women are not honored in time. They are woven through it, shaping every story, every voice, every breath. We are because she is, and because tomorrow they will be.
The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has called for stronger collaboration in tackling cybercrime in Nigeria and across the global community. This was revealed by the Director of the Nigerian Police Force National Cybercrime Center, Akani Yene Ezima, while receiving members of the Joint Case Team on Cybercrime during a familiarization visit to the MPF NCCC office in Abuja. The CT comprises representatives from the Office of the National Security Advisor, Federal Ministry of Justice, Nigerian Police Force, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, and the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit. Speaking during the visit, the team leader, Demila Akaga Ade, expressed the group's readiness to collaborate closely with the NPF-NCCC. She reaffirmed the team's commitment to supporting efforts to combat cybercrime both locally and internationally. According to a release by the Office of the Force Public Relations Officer, the Joint Case Team is mandated to investigate cybercrime cases across member agencies and leverage international legal frameworks to ensure the swift prosecution of offenders. Similarly, the Nigerian Police Force, through the Office, I take that again, the Nigerian Police Force, through the Force Intelligence Department Special Tactical Squad, FIDSTI, STS, has recorded a major breakthrough with the arrest of two notorious and wanted suspects linked to a violent one-chance armed robbery syndicate operating within the Federal Capital Territory and its environs. The suspects, David Francis, 22, and Emmanuel Ibeme, also known as Mark Fish, 36, were arrested on 8th of March 2026 at Sambek Hotel, Maraba, Nasarawa State, following actionable intelligence. According to a statement issued by the force spokesman, DCP Anthony Okon-Placid, preliminary investigations revealed that the suspects are members of a criminal syndicate known for posing as commercial transport operators to lure unsuspecting victims whom they subsequently rob and assault. DCP Placid said the syndicate has been linked to multiple incidents involving the abduction and dispossession of victims of large sums of money on valuables, including cash, mobile devices, and other personal effects. He added that in some instances, victims were subjected to severe physical harm, while others were found dead after encounters with the group. A statement further noted that several victims have come forward to identify the suspects, providing useful information to aid ongoing investigations. He added that investigations are ongoing to apprehend other members of the syndicate and bring them to justice. The Nigerian Police Force, through the Force Intelligence Department Special Tactical Squad, FIDSTS, has recorded a major operational breakthrough with the arrest of 3 notorious armed robbery suspects and the recovery of 10 stolen vehicles in Kaduna State. The suspects, Abubakar Musa, 36 years, Hassan Umar, 30 years, and Joshua Raphael, 20 years, were apprehended on 16th of March 2026 in Kaduna State. According to a statement issued on Friday evening by the force spokesman DCP Anthony Okon-Placid, preliminary investigations revealed that the principal suspect, Abubakar Musa, is a dismissed corporal of the Nigerian Army who has been impersonating a serving soldier to evade detection while carrying out armed robbery operations with his accomplices. DCP Placid said further findings indicate that the syndicate specialized in the theft and movement of stolen vehicles, often removing or altering registration details to conceal their identity and ownership. He added that the operation led to the recovery of 10 vehicles of various brands, including Toyota Hilux trucks, Toyota Corolla cars, a Pontiac Vibe GT, a Honda vehicle, and a Lexus car, as well as a Toyota RAV4 SUV, with several of the vehicles found without registration numbers. He noted that investigations are ongoing to apprehend other fleeing members of the syndicate and recover additional exhibits. Now, the World Health Organization, WHO, announced on Friday that it had given pre-qualification approval to a malaria treatment for newborns and infants for the first time. Artemether-lumefantrine is the first anti-malarial formulation designed specifically for the youngest victims of the mosquito-borne disease. According to a statement issued by WHO, the pre-qualification designation indicates that the medicine meets international standards of quality, safety, and efficacy. Up to now, infants have been treated with formulations intended for older children, carrying a greater risk of dosage errors, side effects, and toxicity. In 2024, there were an estimated 282 million malaria cases and 610,000 deaths in 80 countries, according to the WHO. Africa accounts for 95% of cases and deaths, with children under 5 accounting for 3/4 of those deaths. The UN Health Agency says progress against malaria is being hampered by drug resistance, insecticide resistance, and diagnostics failure, as well as sharp reductions in foreign aid spending. The WHO said its pre-qualification would enable public sector procurement and help close a long-standing treatment gap for around 30 million babies born each year in malaria endemic areas of Africa. The federal government has advised Nigerians residing in South Africa to be cautious of further anti-foreigner protests scheduled in the country. An advisory issued on Friday by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, headed by Abike Dabiri Erewa, noted that the warning followed an official circular from the Consulate General of Nigeria in Johannesburg, dated April 22, 2026, that demonstrations in East London, Cape Town, Durban, and KwaZulu-Natal have turned violent, leading to looting, property damage, and injuries. The statement urged Nigerians in the country to adhere to the advisory issued by the Consulate General, warning of escalating demonstrations across the country. According to intelligence noted in the Consulate's circular, further protests are scheduled to happen in the Gauteng province between April 27 and 29, 2026, with demonstrators intending to apply pressure on the South African government over the presence of foreign nationals. In response to the above, NIDCOM is advising all Nigerian citizens to avoid any confrontation with protesters, refrain from engaging with demonstration groups, and monitor local media outlets for real-time safety informations. Nigerian nationals were urged to remain law-abiding at all times. It was further advised that Nigerian business owners protect their businesses by closing on Freedom Day, April 27th, and consider remaining closed on April 28th and 29th, as foreign-owned businesses are often targeted during unrest. The Chinese Cultural Center was filled with excitement and celebration as students graduated from the Mandarin classes, completing levels HSK 1 to 3. The interest in learning Mandarin is growing among Nigerians as a total of 42 students participated in the examination. Joy Annie has the details. I'm sorry, that report will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. Now, that does it all on the news at 3. But before we go, a recap of one of our major stories again. We told you that President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to national unity and value reorientation after receiving a progress briefing and the 2026 operational blueprint from the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Malam Lare Isa Onilo, on Friday at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. That's the news. I am Richard Alechino Anyebe. Thanks for watching.